Stage idea number 2, Warzone, games, Advance Wars Dual Strike, and Advance Wars Days of Ruin, version 3DS. Now, Warzone is a stage I've basically thought up that would represent the Advance Wars series of games, the Wars series of games in general especially, but specifically maybe the newer ones, the Advance Wars games, but basically the Wars series in general, which has had long-standing history with Nintendo dating all the way back to 1988. It was a precursor to the Fire Emblem series made by the same company, but it deals with more modern war type settings like, infantry soldiers, tanks, bombing planes, helicopter, just modern war type settings rather than, your ancient European type wars from Fire Emblem. The two latest games in the series, Dual Strike and Days of Ruin on the Nintendo 3DS, were, so as of now, the most recent games in the series. And I was thinking, like, this series needs more representation. And when you sit down and think about it for a stage, um, there's a lot you could actually do for a stage, and it actually is a very, very big handheld representation. So giving it a stage is actually pretty good in the sense that you're giving a franchise that has so long a history, especially on handhelds, to the Smash Brothers series finally after all these games, and it's a type of stage that won't take too much work to put together. You don't have to put too much work into it, but it will have enough in it that will make it original enough to make it its own unique stage. And I think it would be a good stage to represent because I do believe it, like I said before in that topic video I did like a few weeks back about Advance Wars. I do believe Advance Wars wholeheartedly. I do believe it needs representation in Smash Brothers. It's like it just feels so weird that we've went so many games without Warzone, without like a Advance Wars game. So I basically thought up this Warzone stage, and I'm trying to. I think Advance Wars deserves it, and it has the popularity to deserve it too. It's not like it's an unknown franchise. It has popularity worldwide. So yeah, there's that. So what would this stage, the Warzone, actually entail for Smash Bros? How would this stage work, and what would be included on it? What would it do? Like, what would it play like? How would it feel to play on this stage? Well, I think it would be kind of like a general stage that's set with, a set of general platforms, two or three above the stage. Think like Battlefield. So it's not like it's a full-on different stage. It's a standard stage, like a lot of stages where you have the ground and then you have a set amount of platforms that are floating above it. The scenery, though, is the difference, and that's what encompasses Advance Wars. Now, the stage hazards would include basically enemy soldiers and also various like tanks, like vehicles, you know, like based stuff from the Advance Wars series. Basically, the various different types of vehicles and the infantry soldiers, them coming out and basically from coming on from different sides. So it could be even random soldiers. Maybe it could be like the yellow army or the green army, the red army, the blue army, the black army. It could be, like various different armies. It could be random what soldiers and what vehicles drive in from each side, and they're basically going to fire at each other and attack each other. And if you're caught in the line of fire, you're going to receive some damage, obviously, because obviously these are like missiles, guns, bullets, bombs, grenades, and everything that's going to be going off in your face. So it's going to obviously cause the player some damage, and that's basically a main side of the stage hazard. On top of that, maybe sometimes like planes can drop bombs from above, like bomber planes. Maybe the helicopter can come down and maybe start gunning you down. Maybe you can have jets fly by and drop stuff down. You have the aerial vehicles drop stuff down on you, maybe shoot at you, while you have these infantry soldiers attack you. You're basically in the middle of a war zone. Basically, this platform, this stage that you're on, is in the middle of one of the Advanced Wars battles that are going on between like the Orange Stars and the Blue Moons and all these different armies. They're obviously in the in the Advanced Wars series. And that's basically the general gist of the stage. It's a general stage that you can basically play on by yourself, and you won't have to worry so much about really platforms breaking or being a moving stage or anything. But the stage hazards you have to worry about are the armies that are fighting each other in the middle of the battlefield that you're basically fighting all these other players in the Smash Bros. Game on. So you're basically fighting like, oh, I'm playing against these other people, but this war is going on around you, and basically that is the stage hazard. You can get shot at. It's not necessarily that the soldiers are really shooting at you, they're basically firing at the other soldiers that are in the war. You're just caught up in the fire. And one major thing I thought of for the stage that I think would be interesting because it gives both Dual Strike and Days of Ruin representation is the stage is basically a random design. It's randomly picked, just like Mushroom Kingdom was in Brawl, like how it was stage 1, stage 2. It's going to be randomly picked depending on what, like when you pick the stage, whenever you pick the stage, it's going to be a random thing. It's either going to be representing Dual Strike by the grassy plains, that, this left picture, like a grassy plain, plateau type battlefield type thing, or it's going to represent Days of Ruin because of the destroyed post-apocalyptic city, on the right side. It's random it can visually change the stage hazard. Like if you're in the Dual Strike, grassy plains, you'll see more like the Andy, Sammy, Mac, like the Orange Stars, Blue Moons, and the Black Hole Army and stuff like that fighting each other as stage hazards. If you're playing in the Days of Ruin Destroyed City, you're going to basically see like the bandits and all the various different armies from that game. Like it's not really a difference in terms of how they attack. It's just a visual difference on the stage hazards coming on the stage as themselves, like a visual change, like a texture, color, visual model, color based change that kind of represents, okay, these are the armies from Days of Ruin, these are the armies from Dual Strike. And that's basically the basic gist of how the stage would work and how um, this Warzone Advanced War stage would work fairly well, and like how I foresee it. Like it's not too, detailed. It's not too much information going on. You can have a standard battle on there. The stage hazards are more what come to you, not you going to them, and not like the stage falling apart or anything, like how I did like Sandblasted Highway and all that. Now, what are some song ideas I could see for this game? Like Advance Wars has such great music, such great like music that goes along with it. I just limiting it to certain choices is kind of hard, but I picked 8 specific songs that I put together as a list here, and I'm gonna go over them right now and tell you basically if I basically had a couple songs as ideas for this stage, how I would do it. I picked about 4 Dual Strike songs and 4 Days of Ruin songs. I wanted to get fair representation of both because obviously the stage represents both. So the first song is obviously Andy's theme from Dual Strike. It's one of the more well-known songs from the Advance Wars series. So I'm like, well, he's one of the main characters from the original Advance Wars series before like the Days of Ruin stuff. So I was thinking maybe giving him his song would be fine. And then the next one will be We Will Prevail, which is Will's theme from Days of Ruin. This song is so awesome. It is like it's just so stunning. I like love how energetic it is. How like it pumps you up whenever you're playing as Will, which he's the main character of the game, so you're gonna hear it all the time. It's just so energetic and just it gets you hyped for your battle that's going on, and I really would love to see this in Smash Brothers. The next song would be obviously Sammy's theme, who's also one of the major characters from the Dual Strike version from the older series, and her song is pretty good too. Um, and then the next one would be First Strike, which is the Days of Ruin main menu theme, which is fairly energetic as well. It gets you hyped to go through the menus and get to. It'll fit like the war-based setting that you're basically playing in. Next one, number 5, would be Max's theme. Like also, he's also one of the major characters from the game. So from the older series. So obviously, you want to represent his song too. Um, then I put in Mr. Bear, who's Penny's theme from Days of Ruin. She's one of the main bad guys of the series, and it's a song that has a war theme, but also is kind of different because it's kind of techno-ish and like out there. It's a little weird. It's not like a full-on metal rock theme. It has it has like a sort of weird feel to it, which would make it stand out at least from all the other themes. The Tag Power theme from Dual Strike, which is a pretty good song. It represents the tag powers because in that game you could pick 2 COs and it would basically represent that. And then the Supreme Logician, Lin, Lynn's theme from Days of Ruin. Sorry, I got tongue-tied there for a second. Lynn's theme from Days of Ruin, which is basically she's one of the major characters on like the resistance side, basically like the side that's saving the people after the war started, after all everything was basically destroyed. Um, and I think it would fit the stage feel as well. And that's basically my thoughts on and ideas for a Advanced War stage that I call Warzone to represent Days Ruin and Dual Strike on a Nintendo from the Nintendo 3DS. I mean from the Nintendo DS for the 3DS version. Hope you guys like this video. Put in the comment section what you guys think, and I'll see you guys later in the next one. Peace.